big cat. Welcome to my therapy. This ain't your ordinary world, it's extraordinary. See, I'm a high priestess lightworker, here to guide your way through the waves of life. We'll find a new path to embrace. Tarot, astrology, numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.
Namaste! Grand Rising Big Cat Fire Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Big Cat Astrology. Big Cat Wave. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. The planetary hot topics to add to your almanac over the next 7 days. On the 31st of March, the Moon in Sagittarius trines Mercury in Aries. This cosmic alignment brings you a clarity and a keen ability to judge situations accurately. Embrace the freedom of independent and pragmatic thinking, whilst also staying receptive to fresh perspectives and novel ideas that may come your way. This is the right time for spontaneous adventures like a road trip. Take the time to engage in meaningful conversations that expand your knowledge and allows you to share your unique insights and experiences. On the 1st of April, Mercury retrograde commences in Aries. During this phase, it's prudent to tread carefully as conflicts, irritability and frustrations may arise more easily than usual. Rather than allowing these challenges to deter you, consider channeling the surplus energy into productive pursuits such as revisiting past projects or endeavors that hold potentials for renewal and growth. For a comprehensive understanding of how Mercury retrograde in Aries may influence your Sun, Moon and Rising sign, I invite you to watch my detailed video analysis of said Mercury retrograde. On the 2nd, the last quarter moon in Capricorn. This lunar phase signals a time of potential tension, challenges, and particularly in areas such as your family dynamics, personal health, work-related matters, interpersonal relationships, and public interactions. Exercise caution in your actions and reactions. Use this period to declutter and organize your surroundings. On the 3rd, Venus in Pisces is in conjunction to Neptune in Pisces. This celestial alignment inspires romantic fantasies, potentially leading to idealized perceptions of love and relationships. It's essential to remain grounded and vigilant, as there is a risk of overlooking the red flags. Good golly and gosh, don't do it, bestie. Don't do it. Ha ha! Avoid entering into clandestine affairs fueled by unrealistic expectations. Utilize this time for creative pursuits and introspective practices like meditation, allowing yourself to explore the depths of your imagination and emotions. On the 4th, the Sun in Aries sextiles the Moon in Aquarius. Under this harmonious aspect, you'll find yourself thinking and acting with clarity and reason rather than being driven by your emotions. You'll experience a sense of ease and confidence in various settings, bolstering both personal and professional relationships. Take advantage of this supportive energy from relatives and friends, as their assistance and guidance can prove invaluable during this time of clarity and rationality. On the 5th, the Moon enters Pisces. Amidst the whirlwind of energies, consider taking a step back to nurture yourself and replenish your inner resolves. Embrace moments of solitude or relaxation and allow yourself to reconnect with your innermost desires and intentions. On the 6th, Venus transitions to Aries. This shift brings about a surge of passion, impulsiveness, and a desire for new experiences in matters of love and creativity. While they may lead to exciting romantic encounters, It's important to exercise caution and mindfulness to avoid rushing into relationships impulsively. Please stay tuned in for the tarot reading to follow. Big cat wave! Ha ha! Namaste! Grand Rising Fire Signs, welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for messages for your next 7 days. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Big Cat Wave. Let's dive in, Big Cat, at a hot trot and unpack. Give it a good shufty and dive in. Okay, good golly and gosh, love it. You have the energy of an 8. Can you see it? The 3 and a 5. Let's put this to one side for a moment as we unpack where the big cat is on this Chinese numerology grid. It's the low shoe grid, darling dears. You are on your life purpose. The energy of the 1 speaks about this is a new beginning, darling dears. For some of you, you are going to be changing career over the next 7 days, or laying the groundwork to change said career. Can you see it? Look, I was floating it up in the air. Can you see now? I was giving you a bit of vertigo. Sorry. You may live in the north or will be traveling to the northwardly direction over the next 7 days, darling dears. The number 1, according to Chinese numerology, is ruled by the element of water. That's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and it also represents the season of winter, darling dears. Good golly and gosh, for somebody, winter is coming, darling dears. Winter in the fact where they're going to have to face their demons and create this new beginning for themselves, darling dears. Fear is what we feel as a big cat. Fear is what we feel everything and rise. Fist bump. We love it. We don't hate it. All right, let's press on. You have the energy of an 8. Drop down and get your eagle on. The 3 speaks about conflict, tongue wrestling, darling dears. Somebody wants, or somebody's wants to argue with you. The conflict also come from what? Confusion, darling dears, maybe even jealousy. Why? Because we have the energy of the 5 here. The 5 speaks about some kind of foundation that you've created for yourself, some form of security that you've created for yourself, darling dears. This looks like hoodwinking 101, darling dears. Somebody's going to try and trick you out of your foundation or hoodwink you into building with the... Listen, baby, oi, bestie, what did I tell you about the Boosie badass? We trust no one. Why? Because of liars, cheaters, thieves, swindlers, users. Oh my, if I had pearls, you know, bestie, I'll be squeezing them biatches with you, darling dears. The back front neck tabbers, or just the front tabbers, darling dears, that go straight for your white meat. The frenemies, the haters, right, that comes with the bad vibes, the bad intention, the bad advice, the bad credit, and the panani of a tum that's got a bad memory when it's not around you. Fist bumpity bumpity bump. Eyes on everyone. Why? You better make sure this is your toe tagging season over the next 7 days, using your intuition and discernment and not idolizing any romance, relationship or situation. You may have to get advice, darling dears. The energy of the 8 also speaks about Skrilla.com, darling dears. Your birthday could be your birthday, or this could be a significant date or number in your life, which is the 8, the 17th, or the 26th. The number 8 is associated with the letters H, Q, and Z. Your luckiest numbers over the next 7 days will be 2, 4, and 8. Your luckiest days to make your big cat moves will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The numbers to avoid are 3, 7, and 9. This speaks about your inner fortitude, darling dears, allowing you to overcome anything, darling dears. The number 8 tells me that you are a natural achiever over the next 7 days. You are the CEO of what's going on. Fist bump. The number 8 is ruled by Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn, as well as Aquarius energy, darling dears. Saturn is the ruler of your responsibilities, limitations. It's about you It's how you build your structure. It's also the rule of time, darling dears, as well as what karma. If you ain't paying attention, mate, Saturn will what? Roll up on you like a cheap lace song. That's right. Yes, I said cheap lace song. It's about your stability, darling dears, but the 8 is also what? The number of money. Skrilla.com. This reading is going to be about the 8th house. The 8th house covers other people's money, joint finances. It's about you may be publishing something. It's about oh, come on, darling dears, come on. It's about your financials, darling dears. Maybe somebody wants to hook up with you to get a whole insurance policy on you. Good golly and gosh. Someone who is IFing your assets, darling dears, realizing that their asset, your assets, is their assets. This is why you must be careful of the hoodwinkers over the next 7 days. If you've got a support system around you, get advice from them, darling dear. Get their birth natal chart. Ask them how old they are, darling dears. You can get yourself a perfection wheel. This is predictive astrology. We all go through a 12-year cycle. See what house they're in at that moment, darling dears. Even if you don't get the date of birth, the age is important. You investigate them, darling dear. You wrestle them to the ground. Metaphorically, darling dears, with all of the what? Shiznai you find out, then you can make a what? Informed decision if you want to get your genitalia or your Skrillas.com. That's your folding stuff, your money, especially your heart chakra involved. So you better drop down and get your eagle on. Let's get the Saturn card out so we can remind ourselves of the energies. Saturn's coming through with the truth roof, and it's on an energy of a 6. The 6 speaks about teamwork, cooperation, and harmony, darling dears. People are going to be wanting to work with you. The number 6 is what? Venus energy, and it rules Libra as well as Taurus energy. So about your money, and Libra is the house of what? Contractual partnerships. You're going to be meeting someone, darling dears. Is what? A homosexual, right? A high commander Decepticon. Yes, through and through. Somebody who's going to come through leading with compliments. Why? They've been IFing all what you've got going on, and they want a piece, and they want to take you down, Bobby Brown. Why? Because the 8th house is the house of the SEX, darling dears, but it's also the house of what? Your spiritual awakening. Someone is going to see what you've got going on as big business, or they're going to be reading into the potentials of what you can make. Why? The 8th house is juxtaposed to the 2nd house. The 2nd house is your house of resources, your values, how you make your money, your skills and your talents. It's also about the past. Maybe it's somebody coming up from the past. The 2nd house also rules the government. Maybe you work for the government, darling dears. The 8th house, it also speaks about the occult. You could be a reader, darling dears, but you're about to get an upturn in the Skrilla.com, my fireside, over the next 7 days. But somebody who is holding many secrets, darling dears, will be approaching you. Remember to be on the alert. Third eye buffed up to a bish shine. Look for the truth, darling dears. All answers come from within. Okay. Let's get the Oracle Ancestral message around this. I'm going to use I haven't used the Romance Oracle for a long time. I'm going to go with that. What's your ancestors got to say about what's going on? There's certain things you're going to have to retreat from, darling dears. It says it's time to disconnect from the world, darling dears, especially if it's the world of cognitive dissonance and what a money grab against you, darling dears. Your ancestors telling you retreat. Pay attention, darling dears. Look, I can't make it up. If you go for this, you're going for someone who's what? Got a whole armor over that beating heart, that black pit, darling dears. There's cherubs. Yeah, this looks like, yes. They may have whole naked babies, or this could be their consorts that they have in the background. This person is a philanderer, and you will be taken to your bed, darling dears. You barely can see the window of opportunity to what? Escape, darling dears. Run away like Tinky Winky. Remember I told you that. Your ancestors telling you retreat and separate, right? So you better what? Look out for yourself, darling dears. People that come in flattering you. Some of these marauders will research you in order to find out what you've got going on, so they can engage you in conversation. Why? Because they've been finding out shiznai about you. All right. So it appears that hoodwinkers are afoot, darling dears. Right, let's get a deck and dive right in. And I'm going to use the light seer deck. Base of the deck, Queen of Wands. You better put your third eye on bitches and mitches. It also speaks about you plan, plotted, and strategizing. Whatever you've overcome, darling dears, you don't look like what you've been through. The Queen of Wands also speaks about some of you will be traveling over the next 7 days. I already said it looks like a northwardly direction to me. Okay. The Queen of Wands also speaks about you being determined, darling dears. Again, it speaks about you being highly intuitive. Listen to your intuition, darling dears. Somebody wants to attach them because they see what you've created for yourself. They view it as success and they want a piece of your pie. So be very careful. Right. How's the finances? Look for the fire signs over the next 7 days. Finances. Wanted to jump up. No, but nothing turned over. Let's go again. Give it another shufti and wake up this deck and tell it to stop playing in our face. Stop playing in our face. Okay. Finances and work. Empress, darling dears. The Empress is Venus as well as Earth energy, and it also speaks about abundance. You may be working on an idea or something that you was working on previously, darling dears. It's going to bring abundance to you, illumination. It could be, you may even be a reader, darling dears, or you have some kind of spiritual based business. Listening to your intuition. Yeah. You also have, this looks like a full moon in the background, darling dears. And when we see a full moon, it's a time for you to what? It's a time for you to harvest your intentions that you set at previous moons, darling dears. Remember I told you that? The next full moon, well, we're just on the back end of a full moon, darling dears. The full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. Okay. Libra is the house of what? Contractual partnerships. I've already put out my comprehensive read about that. Go and watch the effect of this full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, effect on your sun, moon, and rising sign. Empress energy. But it looks like you're a boss. World card, new beginning, darling dears. It also speaks about someone or someone's would like a second chance with you. The devil's most diligent workers, darling dears. Or somebody's going to see you as being abundant, darling dears. You may be male or female, the emperor or empress of everything. Somebody who's been researching you, darling dears, may possibly online. Yeah, this person comes straight from the crevice of the devil's balls, darling dears, to bring you down, Bobby Brown. As far as your finances are concerned, good golly and gosh, big cat, you better pay attention. This person is obsessed. It also speaks about some form of abuse of drugs, alcohol, or all of the above. It definitely is a sexual deviant. For my single fire signs, one's energy, darling dears. When we see a knight, it speaks about you being focused, darling dears. It represents possibly a young adult, but it also speaks about quick movement. You're moving towards something very quickly. Listen, I just pulled this off the bottom. You're moving towards money, darling dears. Many of you are solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. Something that you've been working towards or working on. Yeah. Because look, when you're reading tarot, this is something that from the past, darling dears. Maybe you're going to be resurrecting something from the past, reworking something, because it's going to bring you to what? Independence, darling dears. It's also a reminder to what? Be drama free over the next 7 days, darling dears. Don't get into no tongue wrestling with no feeble-minded dummy bat. King of Swords is about you what? Moving in silence, darling dears. Move in silence. And again, a marauder. This is the Knight of Cups. Someone who is charming, darling dears. Really charming. Coming to charm you, darling dears. Listen, you better put your third eye on that Mitch or bitch. Yeah. Moon energy on its forehead, darling dears. You better go for the truth from within. Clarity, darling dears. Pay attention to your stomach. When I get butterflies, it's usually good for me. And if I get that sinking feeling, baby, I run to my keyboards and become a keyboard gangster, because there's research to be done. I meditate. I walk in nature. If I'm near a body of water, I put my footsies in them waters and speak to my ancestral team. It looks good, but somebody's going to try and hoodwink you out of what you've got going on, darling dears. Be on the alert. Remember, retreat and separation. What about those in a relationship or partnership over the next 7 days? King of Pentacles, darling dears. This is somebody who's abused their position. In the upright, this is someone's husband or business partner, darling dears. You're going to find about a misappropriation of funds. Two of Cups. Clarify the Two of Cups, please. Listen, this goes to 10 of Cups. You're going to have to leave a situation for your own emotional fulfillment. You've got a hoodwinker amongst you, darling dears. Tell me some more about this King of Pentacles, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo energy. This person is... You was in a relationship or partnership with someone who was really jealous, darling dears. This was meant to be... This person is a life lesson. You was meant to learn the lesson from this person. The 8th house is also representative of law number 25. You're going to be able to reinvent yourself, darling dears. Law 31, control the options. And law number 34, always act like the emperor or empress you are to be treated as such. This person is not treating you like no empress or emperor. It speaks about emotional manipulation. This person always makes you feel like they're about to leave, darling dears. Let them go, hermit energy. There for the streets. On its face, darling dears. Major arcana. When we see major arcana, it's divine having a hand in your life. The minor arcana is what you're supposed to do about it. It's telling you to do a tinky winky. Leave and go and find your 9th cup on your own. This person is a dick dealer. This person speaks the way they talk about you behind your back. Good God. I nearly vomited in my mouth. This is for your own peace of mind, and it's also a reminder for the future. Guard your heart, for from your heart springs the well of life. Proverbs 4:23. Good golly and gosh. The wicked are afoot, darling dears. Be careful, be careful. Ace of Wands, and they will lie. Someone that's been hoodwinking you for some time, and it could also speak about spell work. To what? Take off your mind, your thoughts, darling dears. Cognitive dissonance giving. All of this and that. But you know, this person is extremely brutal. They may be physically brutal or verbally brutal towards you and behind your back, darling dears. This is a blessing blocker that you have to drop off like a dirty shirt, right? And run away like Tinky Winky. Base of the deck, darling dears. It will be the best decision you ever made. Good golly and gosh. Everything is telling you to avoid, avoid, avoid. Buff up your third eye to a bish and shine. Final messages. No, it said don't go with this. Okay, which one then? Blue. Final messages for my intuitive cards. What's this? An extended family member, darling dears. What about this extended family member? Yeah, they treat you like the stone that the builder refused, but you are the one that's going to be blessed and highly favored, darling dears. A family member. Now they see your worth from the distance, or they will see it once they see your shapely back. Law 16 of the 48 laws of power, or Matthew 10:14. When you are disrespected, right, you dust off your sandals and head out. Remember I told you that. On that note, I drops me mic. Todd love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. Please, Big Cat, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I'm kicking my way through these tarot streets again. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Big Cat Wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, 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 cat.
Hey, big cat, welcome to my therapy. This ain't your ordinary world, it's extraordinary. See, I'm a high priestess lightworker, here to guide your way. on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.